Have you ever sat through a webinar that felt, well, more like a mandatory meeting than something you actually wanted to be at? Yeah, me too. What if you could flip that? What if you could create an experience that's not just informative, but is an absolute powerhouse for your business? Well, today we're doing just that. We're pulling back the curtain on the ultimate playbook for webinars that really captivate, convert, and keep your audience wanting more. Let's dive in.
So let's just kick things off with a number that should make you sit up a little straighter: 70%. In a world that is just flooded with ads and emails, a massive majority of sales and marketing leaders all point to webinars as their #1 source for high-quality leads. We're not talking about vanity metrics like clicks or impressions here, no. We're talking about attracting people who are literally raising their hands, saying, "Hey, I'm interested," and are ready to become customers. That's the power we're going to unpack.
And that really is the question, isn't it? I mean, anyone can hop on a call and host a meeting, but to create a truly memorable, impactful webinar, that's like directing a live show. It needs a vision, it needs a script, and it needs a performance that leaves the audience buzzing. So let's break down exactly how you become the director of your own masterpiece.
All right, so first things first. What is it about a webinar that makes it the headliner in your content strategy? Before we get into all the how-tos, let's really understand why this format just consistently steals the show and commands an audience in a way that almost nothing else can.
You know, every single day, your audience is getting hit with this tidal wave of digital noise. A webinar is your chance to cut right through all of that. It's one of the only formats that puts a real human face and a voice to your brand, creating this direct, personal line of communication. And that human touch is absolutely critical because it turns out B2B purchasing is way more emotional than we think. Webinars are where you build that trust, that connection that turns a prospect into a real partner.
57 minutes. Just think about that for a second. Can you name any other piece of content online that can hold someone's focused attention for nearly an hour? A blog post? You skim it. A social video? You might give it a few seconds. A webinar, though, it commands focus. This is the definition of a captive audience, and it's in that deep, sustained engagement that you actually build relationships and drive real results. Okay, so now that we're all on the same page about why webinars are so incredibly powerful, let's get into the how. A killer performance doesn't just happen by accident, right? It all starts with a rock-solid strategic blueprint, and that's exactly what we're going to build next. So here's the thing. A great webinar should never exist in a vacuum. It has to be a strategic piece of your bigger customer lifecycle machine. Before you even think about writing a single slide, you have to ask yourself, what is my goal here? Are you trying to raise brand awareness for people who've never heard of you? Are you nurturing prospects who are kind of in the middle of their decision? Are you trying to close deals? Or maybe you're just trying to delight your existing customers to keep them around. That goal is going to dictate everything else you do.
And this table right here, this is basically your strategic cheat sheet. It connects the why with the what and the how. You can see that direct line between the goal, the format, and how you're going to measure it. You wouldn't measure a big brand awareness panel by the revenue it generates, right? And you wouldn't measure a product demo just by how many new people registered. This simple framework forces you to define what success looks like right from the start, so your webinar becomes a precision tool, not just a shot in the dark. Of course, none of that strategy matters if you pick a topic that nobody cares about. So where do you find these winning ideas? Well, a great place to start is to look at what's already working for you. What are your most popular blog posts? What are the hot topics everyone's talking about in your industry? And here's a pro tip, a real game changer. Go talk to your sales and customer success teams. They are on the front lines every single day, hearing the same questions, the same problems, over and over. That right there is an absolute goldmine for webinar content.
All right, blueprint in hand, it's time to move into pre-production. Let's talk about setting the stage for a totally flawless performance. And this covers everything from your timeline to all those little tech checks.
A perfect live show is really all about what happens before the curtain ever goes up. Think of this timeline as your production schedule. You'll notice the heavy lifting, like picking your topic and lining up any partners. That happens a full 8 weeks out. Promotion doesn't even start until a month beforehand. The big takeaway here? Planning ahead isn't just a nice idea, it is the secret to a stress-free, totally professional execution where nothing gets missed. So, when you're ready to send out those invitations and fill your virtual seats, when's the best time to do it? Well, the data gives us a pretty clear answer. Tuesday is prime time. Specifically, Tuesday morning. By scheduling your main promotional push to line up with this peak registration window, you're not just guessing anymore. You're using data to maximize your reach and make sure you have a full house.
Okay, I really cannot stress this enough. Whatever you do, do not skip the dress rehearsal. This is your chance to test your audio, your screen sharing, the handoffs between speakers. It's where you iron out those awkward transitions and make sure the technology is going to be your friend, not your enemy on the big day. A full run-through is probably the single best thing you can do to guarantee a smooth, professional live event. The stage is set, the audience is filing in. It is showtime. So now, let's focus on the live performance itself, how to deliver a presentation that keeps your audience leaning in from the very beginning all the way to the end.
The real key to a great live performance is interaction. You want to create what we call an engagement loop. You can't just talk at your audience, you have to talk with them. So, launch some polls to get their opinions in real time. Ask questions in the chat to get a discussion going. And, of course, save plenty of time for a live Q&A. These 3 simple steps can turn passive viewers into active, engaged participants.
Visually, this slide just says it all. I mean, look at the difference. On one side, you've got this cluttered wall of text that your audience has to struggle to read. And on the other, you have a clean, high-impact visual that reinforces what you're saying. The golden rule here is so simple. Your slides are the backdrop. They are not the script. They should support you with a single, powerful idea, not compete with you for attention. And this quote from marketing expert Lee Auden just nails it. It perfectly captures the transformative power of a great webinar. See, it's not just about sharing information. It's about building a bridge that turns a curious prospect into a loyal customer and then turns that happy customer into a vocal advocate for your brand. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, right? At the end of the day, your delivery can make or break the entire experience. Your audience can feel your energy, even through a screen. So you have to speak with passion. Vary your tone, speed up, slow down. And please, absolutely turn on your webcam. People connect with faces, not just slides. And remember, your personality is your biggest asset. Don't be afraid to have a little fun and let it shine through. So the live show might be over, but the value of your webinar is just getting started. This final section is all about the encore, how to extend the life of your content and turn that one-time event into a long-term, lead-generating asset. Your webinar recording is a content goldmine. I mean, just look at all these possibilities. You can chop up the recording into short, shareable little video clips for social media. You can get it transcribed and turn it into a whole series of blog posts. You can pull out key stats and quotes for graphics. You could even bundle the whole thing up into a handy ebook. That 1 hour of effort can seriously fuel your content calendar for weeks to come. And finally, a super tight follow-up strategy is completely non-negotiable. Within 24 hours, everyone who registered needs to get an email. The people who showed up get a thank you with the recording. The people who couldn't make it get a sorry we missed you note also with the recording. And this is critical, all that amazing engagement data, who attended, what they asked, all of it gets synced to your CRM so your sales team can have way smarter, more relevant conversations. So as we wrap things up, I want you to remember this. A webinar isn't the end of the road. It's the beginning. It's this incredibly powerful way to start a real, meaningful conversation with your audience. By following this playbook, you're not just making a presentation, you're crafting an experience that can build your brand, generate leads, and truly grow your business. So the only question left is, what story will yours tell?